What's up, VC? We are in West Los Angeles at Record Surplus. Let's go in and check it out. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tone, and I'm back with another Record Store Spotlight. This is Record Store Spotlight number 2, and we're going to be visiting, as you saw in the intro, Record Surplus here in the West LA area in Los Angeles, California. It's a great store. It's a pretty sizable store, as you'll see, and it's out of, between 80 and 90 active and functioning independent record stores in the greater LA area. It's one of the oldest. I think it's been around about 34 or 35 years. It's in a great area in West LA, not too far off the freeway. Off the 405 freeway, which is it's actually the busiest freeway in the world. So if you can deal with the traffic and get off the freeway without having a panic attack and get to the record store, you'll be all right. It's in a great area, just west of Santa Monica, which is the beach, about a mile from the beach. In fact, you can check it out on the map right here. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and check out the video of the shop. And after that, I'll come back as normal and I'll show you just a few of the things that I picked up. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, Record Surplus, West Los Angeles. It's a nice sized store. This is actually the second location. We'll talk to Chris, the manager, in a bit, and I'm sure he'll tell us a little bit more about that. Back section, this is one of their CD sections. And more here. And cassettes. And I think this is their classical overflow, or what this is their box sets, for the most part. Classical box sets. Over here is some more compact discs and 7-inch singles. I have actually yet to go through this particular group of singles here. I'm sure there's some great stuff in there. Some 78s and 10-inch records. Also, this is the overflow, I think, for soundtracks and movie stuff. Here we have jazz vocals, male and female jazz vocals, and pop, easy listening stuff. And this is the overflow of some of their main sections, like jazz and country and children's and international and comedy. They have bigger sections for those, but I do believe this is just the overflow. And big bands. This is all jazz here, so jazz compilations, Latin jazz, big band, and Dixieland. Their main jazz section here. And it's kind of strange. Here's female vocals. So here's Amy Winehouse, and I don't know if this is purposely supposed to be here. It should be in soul, but nevertheless, I have this record. I love this record. Here's some more 45s. I like how, like, you saw 45s over there, and then you saw 45s over here. They're just kind of spread out all over the store, which I think is kind of cool. More male vocals. And rock is in this section, so we have folk here. It's not a huge folk section, but I mean, it's a good one. It's bigger than most places that you would go to that have a segregated folk section. And this entire aisle here, both this side and this side, is rock. And this whole aisle is compact discs, which is of course their main compact disc section. Go to the back wall, there's some DVDs and Blu-ray, some more cassettes. And some more classical overflow, like box sets and things like that. We do have some electronics laying around. And more classical stuff here, which is this is opera. And on the other side is their main classical section. All the way down there. And then international and reggae. Prices here are pretty fair. They're not the cheapest in town, but for as well curated as the store is and the stuff that you can get in here, I think the prices are pretty fair. Here's soundtracks. They have a great soundtrack section. And I picked up quite a few musicals and soundtrack records here, so pretty well curated soundtrack section, both domestic and international. A massive 12-inch single section, all genres. I mean all genres, which is pretty cool here. And here is rap and hip hop. It's an okay rap and hip hop section. It could be better, but their main clientele isn't looking for that in particular. So, and a lot of it are reissues, which is cool. But I mean, most hip hop collectors are looking for 90s and 80s originals. So here's soul all the way down this way. Blues. And oldies, which would be more 50s based things. And this whole section is the rock section. Got a lot of cool wall art and posters and framed pictures. This Abbey Road placard, it's about, I'd say about 8 to 9 feet long and about 6 feet high. And just a small offering of wall stuff, but pretty cool stuff. Let's go talk to Chris, the manager. See if you can tell us a little bit about the store. All right, so this is Chris. He's one of the managers here at Record Surplus. Hey Chris, how long have you been a manager?
I've been working here since 2000. And,
wow, right on.
So a long time.
Right on, and this is the second incarnation of the store.
Yeah, we used to be on Pico.
That's right.
Right Barrington.
That's right, that's right, that's right. And how long, with this store and that store, how long has the store been around? Do you know?
This store, it'll be 8 years. I think on Saturday the owner was saying, Neil Cantor is the owner.
Yeah.
So yeah, about it, right? Yeah, 8 years here, and then 85 is when the store on Pico opened.
Wow.
So
Wow.
been a while.
30-something years,
Yeah, yeah.
man. That's great. So
Yeah.
this is one of the older existing stores in LA.
Definitely, yeah.
And I would say it's one of the more well talked about and well respected stores. And you've been here since 2000.
Yeah.
It's almost 20 years. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, I appreciate the info, and we're going to keep looking around the store.
Awesome.
All right, brother. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. So this is one of their walls. They've got quite a few cool things. There's an original pressing of 1999 prints. Oh, check this out. Look at this. Anthony Braxton Montreux. Fantastic. Fantastic. And then there's even some more special things here in the glass. There is a giant steps right there. Very cool. Depeche Mode pipeline. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Brownie McGee and Sonny Terry. Look at that. Fantastic. All right, guys. That is Record Outlet Used here in West Los Angeles, Santa Monica Boulevard, Highway 2. And if you are not from Los Angeles and you decide to come visit, I highly recommend stopping in here. Hey, all right, that was a great shop. I hope you guys liked checking out the inside of that place and exploring that store with me. Now I just want to show you just a few of the things that I picked up. I picked up 3 LPs and I picked up one 12-inch single that had been on my want list quite a long time. And I mean, if you saw their 12-inch single selection, which was fantastic, you know, assume you could find almost anything in there, and I was able to find this. So I was very happy about that. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I picked up was just a replacement copy of something that I already have. I have a first pressing of this album already, but with great vinyl, but the cover is just kind of beat. And that is Broken Barricades by Procol Harum. And Broken Barricades is my absolute hands down favorite Procol Harum record. This is also an original US issue, first pressing, but not the same pressing as the other copy I have. The other copy I have, like I said, is fine, but the cover is kind of beat. And it's not that you can't find this record, you know, out in the wild. It's not an elusive record at all. But when you find this particular album, it's normally there's a lot of ring wear, or even worse, because the faces here are die cut. As it is with a lot of thin die cut stuff, sometimes there's rips or tears in the die cut, and as is the case with my other copy. So I was really happy to find this. Price was right, and the cover on this is absolutely almost perfect, and I couldn't believe that it was a first pressing and this good of a cover. So I was happy to pick it up. This is the first Monarch pressing, pressed at Monarch record pressing here in Los Angeles when that existed way back in the day. And Monarch pressings, if you follow that kind of stuff, are usually pretty highly regarded over a lot of other pressing facilities of the day. So I was happy to find this. It is a gatefold, it folds out, but it is a gatefold unipack. So for those of you who aren't familiar with this record or what a unipack is, it opens just like a gatefold, but instead of retrieving the record on the outer edge, you retrieve it from the inside of the record. So really happy to pick that up. The next one I picked up is a record that I see here and there, and it's not that I consciously pass it up, it's just that I'm just not even paying attention to it, so I just pass it by. And I'm glad I didn't this time. And this is Mink, Deville. And the album is Return to Magenta. Mink, Deville is a fantastic band. I've been familiar with who the band is for a long time, but like I said, I just never paid attention to them. I saw this, picked it up, I listened to a little bit of the album online while I was there, and I fell in love with this record. For those of you, I mean, I'm sure that a lot of you are familiar with Mink, Deville, but for those of you who are not, Mink, Deville is a mid to late 70s pop rock or pop punk band. And if I had to use other artists to describe the sound of Mink, Deville, I would say that if you took Elvis Costello and let's say the Knack, so the Knack and Elvis Costello, and they had a baby, that would be Mink, Deville. I think this is a 1978 release, again, Return to Magenta, and it's their second or third release. I think it's their second release. I think they released their first album in 75 or 76. Anyway, if you come across this record and you don't have any Mink, Deville, or you're not familiar with them, take my recommendation. It's a fun listen. You can't go wrong with this record, especially if it's a good price, and this was. So I picked it up, and I'm really happy that I did. The third LP that I picked up was something that I see every so often. And when I see it, I contemplate getting it. But it's always beat out of the pile by something else. This time I took a second to really listen to the album online, and the price was really good, and I was able to pick it up. The album is Ramatam, and it's their second album. In April came the dawning of the Red Suns. And Ramatam is a really interesting band. I don't see a lot of people show Ramatam. In fact, I think I may have only seen maybe one or two people show it. I think maybe one of the people who've shown it is Nico Malcolm. And Nico, if you didn't show it, then forgive me, but I could have sworn that you showed, maybe not this Ramatam album, but maybe it was their first one. Anyway, I rarely see this band acknowledged in the vinyl community, and it's a very interesting band. Not so much with this album, which again is their second and their final album, but their first album. And the intrigue with Ramatam is this. Number one, April Watney, who's the female here, was the lead guitarist of the band. She was a founding member of the band, and at the time, the intrigue of Ramatam was the fact that the band had a female lead guitarist. The other founding member, who was a rhythm guitarist and a second lead guitarist, and I believe he even played some bass here and there, was Mike Panera. And we know Mike Panera from Blues Image. So Mike Panera started out with Blues Image, and when he left Blues Image, he had a stint with Iron Butterfly. And when Mike Panera left Iron Butterfly, he, with April Lawton, started Ramatam. Shortly after that, Mitch Mitchell, who obviously was the drummer, Jimi Hendrix's drummer in the Jimi Hendrix Experience, also came to join the band. So it was Mike Panera, April Lawton, and Mitch Mitchell. The story has it that she's a handful. She was a real handful. She was extremely controlling. And after this first record, and after a short while, Mitch Mitchell just couldn't handle her anymore. And so he split. Shortly thereafter, Mike Panera, I guess he tried to stick it out, and he just got fed up, and he also left. And so the second record is an entirely different incarnation of the band. Still fantastic musicianship. I won't get into all of the different musicians that make up the second incarnation of Ramatam, but it's a really good record. Now, the thing about this record is I would call it an acquired taste. The sound of the record's I'll say it again, it's an acquired taste. So it's a theatrically based hard blues rock record with a quirkiness and a psychedelic undertone to it. Or I would say a psychedelic tinge to it. And I say, so if I were to have to, again, use other artists to describe the sound of Ramatam, I would say if you took an early Pink Floyd sound, a la Dark Side of the Moon, and maybe The Crazy World of Arthur Brown, and then you throw in just a little tiny bit of Meatloaf, and I'm thinking specifically the Bat Out of Hell album, but not in a bad way, and not directly Meatloaf, like in terms of the production or in terms of the presentation or the delivery, but just in terms, there's a slight theatrical undertone and quirkiness to some of the production. Not all of it, but some of it. And that's why I kind of reference that. So that's Ramatam. If my description kind of hit your taste buds, I would highly recommend picking up this record. It's a good album. And if it's the right price, definitely pick it up. I'm really happy I picked this up. First pressing on the Atlantic green and red label. And again, happy I picked it up. Last but not least, it was the 12-inch single I got. This one had been on my want list for a long time. I had the UK import of this 12-inch as a kid in the 80s. So if you were a kid in the 80s or a teenager or an adult and you were into new wave or synth pop at the time, you would definitely remember this song. And the song is Kiss Me, and it's by TinTin Duffy. I'm going to leave a link to this and some of the other stuff below so that you can listen to it. And when you hear it, I'm sure that you'll remember it. I wasn't able to find the UK import, but I did come across the original US release 12-inch single, Kiss Me. It's the original version of the song by TinTin Duffy. It's on Caroline Records, which I was unaware of. And I was really happy I found it, really happy to take it off my want list, finally. And again, I was very happy to find that too. So that's about it. What I'm going to also do, just in case you're new to my channel or new to the series, Record Store Spotlight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to also leave a link to the very first Record Store Spotlight down in the description box so that you can watch that video. There's a really in-depth description of what I'm trying to accomplish with the Record Store Spotlight series. You can watch that, maybe just re-watch this one again. So again, thank you guys for joining me. Record Store Spotlight number 3. I already have that recorded and I'm just doing some editing on it, and I'm going to be launching that soon, as well as a new Vinyl Finds and recent listens video as well. So thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. Look forward to being with you guys again. And as always, God bless you to the fullest. And I'll talk to you shortly.